checking out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got a spark, big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint, calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark.
Hey, good morning. How are you? It's Henry the Camel. When you see Henry the Camel, you know it's hump day. See, because he's a camel and he has a hump. Welcome. We made it to Wednesday. Feels like it's been a ferociously long week already. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Good morning, Stephen. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Alifa. Hello. What's going on? Lamine. Trying. Good to see everybody. Justin, how are you? Everyone, please, who's stopping by, subscribe, like, and share. We're a very friendly community here. Coming up, we got a lot going on today. Keon Brown joins us at 6:30. Donnie Lynn, head basketball coach at Mount St. Mary's, 7:15. David Teal at 7:40. Hello, Justin. Hello, Essex. How are you? Everyone, please subscribe. And then Ron Shelburne. My goodness gracious. It's a lot going on. I would love that, Justin. Thank you so much. You can go to the channel and find out. What's up, Jackson? Good to see you. Everybody who's stopping by this morning. So we got all those great guests coming up here today as we motor along. Raining for the third successive day as I start the program. You're in Reiner. Nice, though. I won't complain about it. We need it. We need it. Broadcasting live from our family fencing studios here in Reiner. 540-200-8294. Get a free quote today. And if you need a chiropractor, go see Mark Hunley off 155 Walters Drive. His video has gotten like 300, 400 rewatches. It's been awesome. NRV Super Bowl, again, they hosted our bash on Saturday. Thanks to them. They were awesome. 540-382-5525. Go hang out with them this weekend. Midnight Madness, glow-in-the-dark bowling. And we did a nice video with Amanda there. You can check it out on our channel from Saturday's bash. It was a huge success. Sundown Electric, one of the best reputations of any business in our area. Go see them. Reach out and say hi. 5-star ratings all the way around, thanks to the Smith brothers. ReadySetFund.com, Bob Christ 11, CRST11 at Gmail. Reach out to find out how you can have a series of text messages help you raise money for your organization very quickly and really without a whole lot of effort from you. Big month, and it's winding down here on the 22nd. Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, family owned and operated, 40 years in business. Make sure you tell them that you heard us talking about the $40 off your maintenance visit, preventative maintenance, to go check out your garage doors. If you're having some issues, if your garage doors are a little older, you have to tell them you heard us talking about it. You can schedule it for whenever you want, but it has to be scheduled in July. 674-0008, easy number. Remember, 674-0008. What's up, Latine? Good to see you. Welcome. National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of me and this channel. 35 years I've been with the bank. The BDST Fan Question of the Week, brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. And which of the four teams that haven't been to the Super Bowl that are in the current National Football League will go first? The Browns, the Lions, the Jags, or the Texans? Right now, the Texans are in the lead with 8 votes. So hit us up there on the text line at 391-0788, brought to you by Professional Door. Or you can DM me, which many people have started to do, and that's perfectly fine. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. And we're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. Thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. They are awesome. And they continue to work on the Sportsplex every day. Don't forget about James Lawson, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 381-8011. Parts for your plumbing, doors, and windows. And Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, 4377 Lee Highway. And Wayne answering his own question. It was a good question. And I think we got a good one next week from Brandon. Texans is his vote. So there's 9. There's 9. Wow, you didn't go with your Browns. I'm surprised. Huh, no Browns for you. Interesting. All right, so the big news coming out of, I guess, sports media yesterday is ESPN made an unbelievable amount of firings again. It's not a business model that's doing well any longer for Disney. Let's just say it that way. It's bizarre to say the least. They now have siphoned off talents that have been there for decades, people that from the old school way that we even kind of remember. And this is what they've pared it down to. They have $150 million per year tied into 5 on-air people. Pat McAfee, who's slated, by the way, to make $60 million. And keep in mind, they only rent his show. It's not like they own his show. Stephen A. Smith somehow makes $40 million. Troy Aikman, 18, Kirk Herbstreit, 16 million, and Joe Buck, 15 million. And they just fired a dozen on-air hosts and analysts yesterday. The 2 most notable being Carl Ravitch and David Lloyd. Ravitch had been there since 93, Lloyd since 97. Stefania Bell also fired. It got started with Ryan Clark a couple days ago, and it continued yesterday. A Black Tuesday, to say the least, at Disney and ESPN. They also rent the NFL Network, which they're going to completely ruin, and that's tied into all this too. They have overspent on these rights and all the things, and so now what are they doing? They're costing people their jobs. They're firing people who've been loyal to them for all of these years. I mean, I don't know what to say. We've been trying to tell you about ESPN and Disney for years now. They are a model that has seen their subscriptions and their presence erode tremendously over time. When you see moves like this and they try to tell you how great things are, they're not with them. A lot of it has to do with Disney. A lot of it has to do with the fact that they've completely almost gone away from sports, other than when they're showing games to yell at you about stupid topics, and then to race bait people, politically bait people, that show any kind of sign of having any kind of pride in the country in which the station resides. You name it. ESPN has done this to themselves, and now they've had all these big salaries tied into these 5 people. How is anyone who's on TV worth $60 million a year? we talk about athletes' salaries, and we talk about coaches' salaries and how ridiculous they are, and college athletes and their salaries. You think about Stephen A. Smith making $40 million a year to do what? So that came down yesterday. Stories all over X if you want to read about them. I'm sure there'll be a lot more stories written today. I'm guessing that's the bulk of the firings. I don't know. But as much as we used to enjoy the NFL Network because it was a separate entity, it's now part of ESPN, so they're going to ruin that too. This is literally one of those things where they ruin everything they touch. They've ruined baseball coverage, don't even do it anymore. They dropped NASCAR coverage. Their NFL coverage isn't good. Their NBA coverage isn't good. It was so much better on TNT all the time and NBC when they seem to, care about the game. Imagine that, and the players. And it's just turned into a different type of entertainment, and I guess it's going younger. I guess young people are latching on. I don't know. But we'll ask Keon about all of this. He's not a younger generation, but he's a lot younger generation than I am. And I want to get his take. Is this something that, maybe I'll ask some of our basketball players. Do you watch? What do you watch? Is that a network you watch? Do you watch anything on there other than games? Is anyone tuning in to any of those shows? I mean, I don't know anybody who watches them. And I don't find Pat McAfee offensive. I don't necessarily think he's great. He's become part of that whole ESPN thing. He's not. I mean, he's clearly doing something right because he's making a hell of a lot of money. I mean, Has he really? I don't watch game day, so you can tell me. Has he really added something to game day? Is that something now you tune in? I mean, I'm asking the question because I don't know. Do you go now to watch because he's on there, basically dominating the whole thing? Wayne says, but Rick, Pat McAfee stands when he talks and Stephen A yells and offends, so it's so different. It's worth millions. And I don't know how much young people are watching. I don't know who their audience is, to be honest with you. Who have they determined their audience is to continue paying these folks? Now, Buck and Aikman came over. They're their lead NFL guys on Monday Night Football. So what they make is what they make. It's still ridiculous to me. I mean, is Joe Buck or Troy Aikman worth hearing on a game? Worth nearly $40 million between them? And yet you have people who have been there for 3 decades, and now they're losing their jobs, and they're simply getting caught up in all this loyalty and towing the company line all those years. What did it get you? This is why you can't go around and you can't suck up. You can't go around and just be a brown noser your whole life and think that the people that you're brown nosy, because nobody has any respect for you when you do that. You might say you have to say certain things to keep your job or to keep your salary, all this. But those people have no respect for you. When you do all that, they know who you are and they know they control you at that point. These people did it for how long? And then boom, they wake up one morning, they're gone. Some of them are being fired right when they were on the air. Apparently, there's a lot of rumors Ryan Clark got fired in the middle of a show, and he heard about it. Some of these people didn't even get called. They didn't even get an email. They just heard about it on X. They saw Andrew Marchant. He was posting about people who got fired, and they had not heard a word. And it's sad. I hate to see people lose their jobs, even though they're making a hell of a lot more money than I ever make. It sucks to see that this is what's going on in the industry. I'm not surprised to see it continue to happen there. This is at least the 5th or 6th major layoff. People were highlighting how many times they've done this since 2017, not coincidentally, when Disney took over the whole thing and they have no clue how to run a sports network. And it's so sad when you grow up with it like I did and like many of you did. It was you had to watch. It was Sports Center. It was highlights. It was, as a Padres fan, before you had the internet and so forth, you woke up and you couldn't wait to watch the late Sports Center to see the final scores, and they'd have highlights, things like that. It's just, yeah, Rick kept his job for ESPN Plus because, they pay me directly. And even that, you think about that for a second. So ESPN Plus, however they've worked that out with the conferences, and I'm telling you right now, just looking at what the Big South gets, it's not a lot of money distributed with the deal that they have with ESPN. You have all these broadcasters all across the country supplying them content for every non-major sport, right, throughout the fall, the winter, the spring. Well, in the winter, it's basketball, but in the fall and the spring, all basically these and they don't pay anybody one dime. They give the conferences a little money for equipment when we have meetings monthly, but it's just kind of a generic. You don't get to ask a lot of questions, And you can tell by the way they handle those meetings that they don't really take it as seriously as they want to make it feel like that they want to make it look like it's a priority. It's not. But you couldn't wait to watch. And they had so many folks on there that were so cool to grow up with. Sports Center hosts that were all about the sports and entertaining you as a sports fan because they were sports fans. I miss Stuart Scott. I miss the early days of Dan Patrick, those folks. And it's unwatchable now. I haven't watched anything on there. Sometimes you'll flip it on just out of spite, and you'll last maybe 2 minutes, and you'll be like, oh, okay. So I don't know who their audience is. It's not going to grow. Like, they continue to isolate their audience. This is what happens when you tell half the country you hate them on a daily basis. I don't understand. It's just like Hollywood. I don't understand why this continues to be a business model for these completely, utterly. I mean, all they're doing is just virtue signaling their politics. Why does it continue when you're going to lose money? Look at the box office, right? Look at the crashes in the box office. Supergirl, Moana, all this stuff. Just absolute jokes. Looks like the Odyssey's going to make some money, but that's not. I don't believe that's Disney. So, from the old elementary school measuring stick that marked the corner, it has been reported that Tebow, Wayne, Big Al, and Big Ron were growing so fast at times they were treated as foreigners. BDST is on. Yeah, Big Ron going to be on with us at 7. Now I got it backwards, didn't I? So yeah, I got it backwards. So we've got Keon coming on here in just a little bit. Then Ron Shelburne. That's right. I had to mix it up. Then David Till. Then Donnie Lynn. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I had it backwards there. My bad. My bad. We had to make some last minute changes. So that's what it is. So Keon, Big Ron, David Teal, then Donnie Lynn. If I'm not mistaken, let me make sure that's right. Yes. 7:15. And then Donnie Lynn at 8. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest Mike Patrick fan as a play-by-play guy. I met him a couple of times. He wasn't a nice man. He was kind of a toolbox. I never really liked him. But yeah, Bob Lee, Dan Shulman is really good. Ron Shelburne made Wayne feel short. Well, that's saying something considering Wayne's like 6'9". So yeah, many firings yesterday at ESPN. Everybody's been showing the final clip. You know, they had already fired Carl Ravitch as he was calling his game. Apparently, I think he found out before he got off the air. There's somebody's been showing the clip, and you can kind of tell he knew. So, I don't know. But what's happening, other than maybe, I don't know what their parks are bringing in, their theme parks, you know, with the unbelievably high budgets. Like, there's rumors that with the cast itself, that Avengers Doomsday, which, you know, they bought the MCU, the Marvel properties, which they've destroyed, and this movie's going to be god-awful. The trailer was ridiculously bad that they released. It was either yesterday or Monday. They're saying that the just the actual budget without marketing, because they're paying Robert Downey Jr., who, by the way, is going to be Dr. Doom, not even the character that people love, Tony Stark, coming back as Dr. Doom. And they won't let Steve Rogers' character, Chris Evans' character, Steve Rogers, be Captain America anymore. So they gave that to the. Don't get me started. But anyway, with the salary that he's making on the salary, and it's just a cameo fest. There's like 60 some actors in this movie. They're saying that the budget just to make the movie is $700 million. It's going to be the most expensive movie ever made. And then when you throw marketing on top of that, you're looking at probably $850 million that Disney has spent on this movie. So to break even at that point, you have to make upwards of like I saw the numbers, like 1.8 billion. Because you see the studios only get half of the ticket sales. Overseas tickets, they get a third. So people think, oh, they've made that much money. They've made it back. No, they have no clue. But anyway, the whole point of that is it's just exorbitant spending. And I know they have billions in their coffers, kind of like these universities that are crying poorhouse, yet they keep finding money. And they're losing money in their movies. They're now obviously budget conscious when it comes to ESPN. So it's a sad day. You hate to see it. But it's just a mismanaged place, and they're really focused on. I gave you the 5 salaries, and that's who's making the money there now. They have slashed since 2017 over 60% of their employees. That's not a thriving business. That's not a thriving takeover. But yet they keep buying things. Yeah. Chris Evans will not be back as Captain America. Chris Evans is black T-shirt guy. If you watch the trailer, he won't be wearing the Captain America uniform. Because that's Sam Wilson now. Yeah. Joining us now on the program. He's our Captain America and Sam Wilson. He is Keon Brown. What's up, KB?
I'm doing great, man. I can't complain. Speaking of movies, I took my daughter to see her first movie Saturday.
Yeah?
Yeah. What was that? Moana.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was I don't understand. It was a good movie. It's the same movie. It's just real people in it. I don't understand. I think for the life of me, nobody's going to tell me how the movie was worse. It's the same script. It's the same thing. The exact same thing. It's just The Rock's in it. The Rock did great. The girl played Moana. I don't get it.
That's why it's bad. The Rock is in it.
Well, The Rock isn't he's my favorite wrestler of all time. You cannot tell me anything bad about The Rock, the wrestler. I'm not the biggest Rock movie guy, but I felt like he did well in that movie.
I think it was the bodysuit.
Acting job was the show he did on HBO called Ballers. I don't know if anybody's watched that, but his best acting was.
I never saw that. I never saw the Ballers. I never did.
Yeah, that was he did really good on that. It was about the guy in the NFL and all that getting drafted to the Dolphins.
Well, I think what it gets criticized for, just what you said, Moana, the animated feature, hasn't been out long, and yet here they are. They have no idea.
Yeah,
they have no. Did we need a live action remake?
Well, I think they wanted. I think they said it's the most streamed movie in the history of Disney Plus. Let's see if we can make more money on it. I guess.
And they're
Disney. They're not going to lose money. They're going to make the money back today because a hot dog at Disney is $800. So they're going to get the money back. They have an unlimited budget. Trust me.
Mustard is $30 million more.
There you go. All of these movies that they're making, you just talked about Marvel and $700 million. They're going to get that back today. Trust me. They will. It's the summertime. That's nothing. They print money at Disney.
I don't know why anything. I wonder why people still go to those amusement parks. Like, I would never go to a Disney.
Oh, there's no way I'm going. I was telling my wife that I'm never going to Disney. There's no way.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe there's an exception. I'm definitely not going in the summertime. That's ridiculous.
I would
go in the middle of the school year. I'd probably think about doing that, taking some time off of that. But I hate crowds. I hate being squished in. No, there's no way.
And the cost.
Yeah.
The cost. I hear people saying they have to save up for 2 years just to go to Disney. Yeah. Is it really worth it? Really?
Hey, I know somebody that said it was $12,000 for them.
Yeah.
I said I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, y'all have fun. Have a great time. Enjoy. All right, so here's something that we can talk about Disney is ESPN just firing people left and right again.
Yeah.
Long time folks who were on and all these things. Your thoughts on that? Do you watch ESPN? Who watches at this point, do you think? Who do you think their target – who watches McAfee and Stephen A. Smith? Like, I don't know anybody who does.
Well, those guys definitely have a following.
They do.
I think
just wonder who it is.
And Pat McAfee is the guy who he pretty much changed everything as far as podcasting. And, I mean, you're only worth what somebody's willing to pay you. I guess they think he's worth $60 million. I think it's a little excessive on my part, especially when you have to lose so much of the great talent that you had. But, I mean – it's like every year ESPN comes out with these budget cuts or all these layoffs. It's every year since the Pat McAfee, since the Stephen A. Smiths have come out with these massive deals. This isn't the first time ESPN just came out and just made cuts out of nowhere. It was about this time last year. That was when the whole RG3. People were mad at RG3 because of how well he was doing as a color analyst for college football, and then you just look up and he's gone. So I'm not sure who's watching it. It's not the same. I think the prime of that sports debate was around 2010-ish to 2014, 15-ish on that network. And then at the same time, you're looking at a situation where you got Stephen A. Smith doing everything. The guy's covering rugby. The guy's covering hot topics. He's covering volleyball. And then
he knows nothing about any of them.
There we go. That's the problem I have right there. Even with the NBA draft, NFL draft, they will sit here and say, I don't watch college basketball. And then when the draft comes, act like the expert on college basketball.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That bothers me. Yeah. It does. And that happens a lot. It happens a lot. And I think, hey, you paying the guy, I guess it's not my money.
And he goes after your guy. He goes after LeBron all the time for like what? LeBron's just like, well, who is he? Like, it's just, I don't know.
And you talk about that. We say this again. If you don't like the guy, and if you don't like anyone, why are you talking about him?
Right. And that's what it is. Right. It feels like he doesn't like anything. That's true. That's true.
If I don't like somebody, I'm not talking about him. You'll never know who I don't like because I'm not going to waste my time.
Right. But boy, he doesn't. He doesn't do that, does it?
I promise you. Like you see everybody talking about LeBron's holding up the NBA schedule. He is not. Just make the schedule. How about
who cares?
Just who cares?
Yeah,
the people who are complaining about it are the ones who say they don't watch NBA basketball.
Correct. Like I haven't followed. I don't care even where he ends up. I don't think anybody does. Just get on a team and let's go. Who cares?
It's just like, come on now.
I'm with you.
The agency has only been 2 weeks. There's a lot of people that are not signed right now. There's an NBA All-Star who is not signed right now. That's a free agent. Just move on. It'll happen when it happens. It'll happen.
When it happens, it'll happen.
Another 8 weeks. Like
that's right.
10 weeks.
That's exactly right.
You're good. I promise.
They have 5 guys between them making $150 million annually. That blows my mind. That's you talk about athlete salaries. We hear that all the time. Coaches' salaries. What about those guys? Really? Are any of those guys worth that? No.
And the cuts that they're making, the guys aren't making a ridiculous amount of money. So if you just scale back on those 5 guys you're talking about just a little bit, it won't hurt them.
No.
You could keep all of this good talent that you have, but man, some of the firings or the layoffs are really like, it's heartbreaking because you see guys who've been there for 3 decades.
I know. Carl Ravitch
do a great job, who's been there before the social media aspect of all of this and the quote unquote popularity, who just do a great job at what they do. People don't understand how hard it is to do what you do as a play-by-play, especially for multiple sports. People do not understand how hard it is. That's I remember true. Before you invited me on to start this whole broadcaster journey, which I keep growing, and I'm always going to thank you. I thought I could just go up there and do it. I mean, I was like, God, I can do better than him. Try it if you want to. And I had to apologize to people and say, dude, I said I can do it better than I can. I'm promise. Not as easy as it looks.
Well, the play-by-play role and the analyst role are two completely different roles, right?
Yes.
And people don't. I think a lot of times people generally don't understand. They think, "Hey, people are on there talking." No, there's two specific things.
Yeah,
that each of them have. Yeah,
and that play-by-play is a harder role, in my opinion, because it's like, dude, you're calling out the passes, you're calling out where they shot the basketball, you're calling out how many times. It's like, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, I don't see, and I guess I was going to try to compare what they're doing to other networks, KB. But again, I guess all you have is what Fox. I guess is the only other big network now for sports that has all their different offshoot, channels. I don't know of anybody else.
As far as what? What do you mean? As far as
like that you can compare to ESPN's size and reach.
Probably. Yeah, it's Fox. It's Fox Sports, and then there's you probably can throw CBS Sports in there, maybe. They're definitely the third tier, but
and then NBC.
What you're talking about is definitely just those two.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same on each channel, is what you're saying.
Yeah, right. Because they have FS1 and FS2.
You got all these debate shows. You got the radio shows. Yeah, for sure.
Big Ten Network and all that. So I just wonder. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. Well. CW, Wayne says.
Yeah, the CW has the ACC package, a little mini ACC.
Yeah, a little mini ACC deal.
Yeah,
going there. How about that? Well, it's unfortunate. It is, and I don't know. It just seemed like this happened, and then it just kept growing yesterday. You just kept seeing names, and then people were putting out fake reports like Jay Billis got fired, and people were falling for that.
Yeah, I think when you're exclusive to like just a season, I think you're pretty much safe. I think it's these guys who are there.
That's kind of what it felt like, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me. It was disappointing to hear that Ryan Clark got fired in the middle of a show.
Well, that guy.
I mean, I get it, but can we be a bit more professional than that?
Well, and Ravitch apparently got something in his ear. Somebody said something to him that, hey, we just found out that you've been let go. Why are you telling these people when they're still on the air? That's right. It was very unprofessional. Well, half of them said they didn't hear about it. They saw it on X.
Well, that's more unprofessional.
What are we doing? Yeah. What are we just gutless. Not only are they making these decisions, just gutless the way they handled it. But anyway. Thank goodness it's over.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's not over yet, apparently. I don't know. We'll see. They said there might be more today. I don't know. I hope not, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so we're in late July now. I can tell you that Radford basketball practice is happening. And so
when are they going to release the schedule? We're about 100 days away today. I think it's like we're at 100 days away. What are we waiting on?
Right now, we're waiting on
Radford. It's pretty much 70% of the school.
It's the conferences. At this point, the non-conferences are done. Like I know,
but at least folks are. We don't worry about the conference slate.
They should release the non-conference.
Right. We know what the conference slate is going to be. It is what it is with that. Who cares that you're going to Farmville on Valentine's Day? We know you're going to be somewhere on Saturday and Wednesday.
Right.
It's the Big South. Who cares? Give us this non-con. Where's the non-con?
Has it not been released? I don't even. I haven't even checked. Did we put it up? Is it up at all?
A lot of teams haven't put it out yet.
I wonder if we
out slowly but surely. You might get 2 or 3 releases a day. But come on now, what are we doing?
I'm going to look because I do not know if we've even done that. I know it's done. I was told. Matter of fact, I was told 2 days ago it's done. Nope, it's not up there yet.
Of course
not up there yet. I can tell you this. You ready for a little bit of you want some breaking news?
Please.
We are going. Hey, I hear the youngin'.
Yeah, she's going off up there.
She okay?
And I'm with you, so I'm good.
We are opening up out in California. We're playing the Golden Bears to open the season.
Okay. Mark Madsen. You got Mark Madsen.
And then we swing down to take on San Francisco, the
place
of Bill Russell.
That's my guy, Coach Gerlifson, down there coaching that squad, San Francisco.
Yeah, they got a lot of international talent on that team.
Yeah, Chris Gerlifson. That's my guy.
Yeah, so that's our first 2 games.
Okay. West Coast swing. All right.
West Coast swing to open. We're on the left coast to open up the season.
Yeah, so now I got to stay up until 12 o'clock to watch the game.
Yeah, you'll be up pretty late. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll never forget when we went out and played Santa Clara out there. When we went to Vegas, we made that stop at Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Man, I was out there sleepwalking. The coaches on the other team like, this guy's sleepy. I said, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I sure am.
Yeah, I 100% am.
Yeah.
I played well, but man, the last 5 minutes were a struggle.
Were you on the team that went to Nevada, or was that after? That was after you, wasn't it?
That was after me. I didn't go to Nevada.
Steve Alford. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Vegas. We went to
UNLV
when we beat. We won the tournament. We
won the tournament.
Florida Gulf Coast, the Dunk City, Florida Gulf Coast. I know college basketball fans remember that team.
Yeah,
they went to the Sweet 16. They called Lob City, Dunk City, or something like that.
Yeah.
That team. Kyle Noreen hit that corner shot.
Kyle Noreen.
Yeah, man. Good times right there.
He hit the shot to knock off. I remember that. Yeah, absolutely. Good times.
Yeah.
We're going back to start. I know we're going back to start. We got some other teams that I haven't gotten confirmed. I think Tennessee's on the schedule. I know Maryland.
Oh gosh.
I know Maryland's on the schedule. A lot of road games this year.
Okay. Yeah, let's see when that Maryland is. If it's not on a day where I have a game, I'll be with you.
You got to be there for Maryland.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on. I don't know. I guess I'm thinking that's in December.
Okay.
But you're right. Non-conference should be pretty much. Yeah, you're right. They should at least release the non-con.
Yeah, man.
Everywhere across the country, they should put up the non-conference schedule.
I mean, by the 4 teams you just told me, it's going to be.
Yeah.
Williams, you got Rick Barnes. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think for us in our kind of league, I like that. I like to try to play.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I think you may not win, but if you compete, you'll get better that way.
Any Commonwealth, man, I'm just waiting for the schedule. I got to see if we got to get some Commonwealth games in there too.
Hopefully. Yeah, I haven't heard about that. I don't know.
Yeah. There's just so many teams in the Commonwealth where it's like scheduling should not be a problem.
I know they got 3. You're gonna have 3 more of the non-D1s. I think that's a trend that I wish would go away. But it is what it is. But, So So it maybe it'll come out before, because if we wait till the conference, it's going to be September. Right. Last year we didn't find out the conference until September, and I don't know why it takes them so long. I really don't.
It shouldn't. It should be predetermined. Like
I'm guessing it's TV. Is what I'm
Wednesday.
Guessing.
It's Wednesday. It's Saturday, and you talk about TV. They come out with these ESPN wildcard games in the season.
2 days before, 3 days before.
Yeah. They see the trend of who the best teams in the league are, and they say, these are the games we're going to put on ESPNU. That's what they say. It's not like they know before the season. You have to do that based on how well the teams are playing. That's why every ESPN wildcard game this year coming up for the Big South, High Point is going to be in it. Everyone. It's going to be everyone. You want to be on ESPNU, just be at the top of the standings. Be top 3, maybe 4 seed. You might get a game.
Thought about you Monday. I
Yeah.
was talking to a coach in the league, and you had already said, hey, they're not going to lose a game. Guess what the coach told me?
What?
He said, we're going to have a pretty good team, but I don't think anybody's going to beat High Point.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
And I mean, you meant like for the championships? He goes, no, I don't think they're going to lose a game in the league. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
It's not breaking news. It's great that I've been saying this for 5 months.
You have.
But at the same time, we know some stuff is just inevitable. Right.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, they've won it. This would be the 3rd straight year. And I believe the way the winds are blowing from the things I hear, I think it's High Point's last season in the Big South.
I can see that.
I believe.
But do they keep it at 8, or will they try to get more teams in the league?
They need more. They need a bigger presence. I don't know who. I don't know. I think the plan that they had in place before Kyle Calander left as commissioner was that MEAC merger.
Yeah.
They were working hard to get those MEAC teams to come in to the league. But again, credit. Hey, you know what? I have a lot of respect for those HBCUs and they're honoring their tradition. I do.
Yeah, that's their thing. That's their thing.
So I don't know. I don't know who you would even get. Queens has now been taken over by Elon. They're going to keep their athletic identity as Queens. It's bizarre. It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
Do they come in now? I don't know. I don't know what you
Wings
do.
would be a good fit, but what about a merger with like the SoCon?
Maybe. Would the
you do that?
SoCon want that? I don't know because there's no football.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I don't know. Would Campbell come back? I know they've been very unhappy with the move they made. It's destroyed them financially. But you don't hear a lot of rumblings. I don't know.
Campbell's CAA, right? Yeah, Campbell's CAA.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the landscape of college basketball, college athletics is money. High Point has money. High Point's going to win. That's why they've been winning.
Yeah.
Right? You keep it a more level playing field, and it's a situation where they have the talent, they have good teams, but it takes more than that come March when it's not about the money.
Well,
yeah.
Well, we keep hearing about all these power leagues and how, you have to have certain multi-millions. Well, in our league, it's really one-sided who has all the money.
There it is.
There's only one team that has the money.
Yeah, their record the last 2 years in the Big South, it has to be like 3 or 4 losses, maybe.
Yeah, I don't have to look it up. Yeah, something like that. The last couple of years, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
No more than that. Maybe 2 a year, averaging 2 a year.
Last year they only lost once to Winthrop.
Was that the only time that they lost?
I think so.
Because 2 years ago, they got upset, but was it like PC or somebody beat them? It was weird.
I had the game when Longwood beat them Longwood beat them at the buzzer. Was it that year? I believe it was that year.
Was that the same year?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it's completely it's lopsided with what they're able to do and what everybody else is doing. So I get the feeling it's going to be their last year, and I don't know what that means for our league. I don't know. It won't be good. I know people are going to be like, "Oh, glad they're gone," but I'm like, "Really? Okay, so what do we do now?
Yeah.
What's the Big South going to do?"
Yep. Yeah.
So
a lot of questions will have to be answered. This time next year going to be really interesting.
It is. We might be talking about all different types of things next year.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what are you getting into now? You got you taking any time off, any time away? What do you got going on?
Well, today, like normal, as soon as we get off here, I'll have you on while I'm at the gym. Intense workout. I'm talking about just exhausting. Chill. I still work out like I'm at Rapid. It's ridiculous. And then when I get back here, I'm going to paint the bathroom. And then I'm starting to get a little pissed because we're starting to get these emails back to come to school. I'm like, I got a whole another week left. Wait until next Wednesday to start sending emails. That's fine. But I still got a good 8 days left. So
leave me alone. Give me my 8 days.
Give me my 8 days. And I'm still kind of in rhythm because I was summer school. I know the other teachers are feeling worse than I am. I'm good. When it's time to go back, I'm just up and go. I've only had 3 weeks off. Everybody else has had 2 months.
That's true.
Yeah.
You were working man this summer. Yeah.
Extensive Christmas break for me. I'm good. And then I'm happy with how I know the year is going to go. Doing what I do, you get a caseload. Yeah. I know my caseload. I know the kids I have. I'm good to go. This is going to be a smooth year for me.
Oh, good. You already know. That's good.
I already know.
No surprises.
No surprises here. Yeah.
You think it's always been that way? It seems like when we were in school, when I was in high school, I don't think the teachers exactly knew who their classes were going to be. They just kind of showed up. They're like, oh.
Yeah. We know exactly who it's going to be.
All right. Well, that's good. That's good to hear. Good to hear.
And I looked at it, scoped it out. We're good.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. I'm not complaining about anything.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I love it when March Madness comes and I put the games on the TV. They're like, they don't say anything to you? I'm like, absolutely not. But if they do, I can tell them I can leave and go home and watch it. You pick. I watch it right here on this TV, or I can leave and go home and watch it.
You got 2 options.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Then they just walk away. I'm sure they just walk away.
All right. Hey, the kids can work on things and they can look up and hey.
Yeah. The kids aren't watching the college basketball either.
As long as you're enjoying it, that's really all that matters. What's going to help the kids more? A happy teacher or a teacher who's had – yeah, right.
There we go. Yeah, I usually don't get bothered in the building. I can appreciate it.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, enjoy your 8 days.
I will. Trust me. I will. No doubt about it.
And maybe next week, I have a feeling next week your guy will be in his spot.
You
LeBron,
think so?
I feels like it. I think so.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
I think I'm hearing Miami,
Miami,
Philly, and Cleveland. Go to Miami.
It's going to be Miami.
Yeah. That's where it should be. I'll say that.
Going to be Miami.
It should be. They need a few more shooters over there, but all you need is about 2 or 3 more.
Older body now. He can recover quicker in the warm environment. It just makes sense a little bit.
Sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Like he can play every other game. Nobody's going to get mad. He's going to year 24.
And he knows, and he and Spoelstra are tight, right?
Yeah. That's what I do. Play every other game.
That's what's going to happen.
Keep your body fresh as possible. You be the lead guard with Giannis and Bam. Put some shooters out there, another 2 shooters out there on the wing with you. You just rock out. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. over there already. You get one more guy that can shoot that 3.
Wayne's asking, do the kids call you Mr. Brown or Mr. Keon?
Brown. Mr. Brown is just a classic teacher name.
It is. It is.
It's classic. It just rolls off the tongue well.
Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. It does. You're right. You're like an episode of a show and like
exactly.
Mr. Brown's class. Yep. Yeah.
Mr. Johnson, Mr. Williams, Mrs. Brown. Those are the classic names.
You should be in a sitcom about
there we go.
And you're that would be
like with first names. There are a lot of first names that can be quote unquote old, and the world is moving on from a lot of first names. These last names are here to stay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's what it is.
You're right though, Mr. Brown.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Mr. Brown. All right, brother. Have a great rest of the week, man.
Yes, sir, man. We're doing great. We're almost there. We're almost
there. We are. And we'll rock and roll here soon. All right. We'll resume next week, and we'll talk about how LeBron's going to look in a Heat uniform again. So,
yeah, I got to go into the closet and get my old Heat stuff out.
Yeah, yeah, you will. You have to redecorate.
For me, I think it's easy.
You're just waiting to see which one it's going to be. All right, brother. Stay safe, man. All right, man. Take care. Keon Brown joining us on the program. Yeah, that's right. Mr. Brown. That's perfect. Tebow makes a good point. You have a pretty straight path to the NCAA tournament. If I'm High Point, I'm staying right where I am. I think what they look at from the things I've gathered from the people down there is that they have a president who's very ambitious, and he wants them in a higher profile league, a league that makes a little more revenue than the Big South, which the A-10 does from a basketball perspective. And he believes that will help the overall footprint of kids who want to come to High Point and so forth. My belief is, though, they're going to have to announce that they have to install a softball program. They don't have a softball program, which is surprising to me. The fact they don't have football knocked them out of the SoCon. They thought they had a SoCon deal about 4 or 5 years ago. And the SoCon was, they're very high on football. That's why VMI is in there, And the A-10 is not. The A-10 is a basketball league. And if they win it again this year, it would be 3 straight championships, record revenue for them, record money coming in, donations, record money spent. They're not going to get any higher in profile than they are right now. So if they have ambitions to leave, they need to jump on it now, in my opinion. They have been having conversations with the A-10, I know, for the last 2 years. So we will see if anything comes down the pike here. Usually those things are announced in the summer or before the start of sports season. So I don't think it's happening anytime soon. But we shall see. And if it does ever happen, it's going to be a blow to our league. It is. I know they win a lot of the sports, and I know they have budgets that the rest of us don't have as a private school. But at the same time, Do you really want to lose? I mean, it's a lot like, if you want to compare it, it's a lot like the fears that Jim Phillips has with the ACC losing Florida State, Miami, or Clemson, right? I mean, it's big. It's big. We'll talk to Coach Lynn about a little bit about this. Just get his perspective. Now, he doesn't have any, doesn't have any ties to the Big South anymore, but he may know. Of course he does. He knows everything about college hoops. And we'll ask our next guest coming up, Ron Shelburne, about that too. I'd like to get Ron's take on that. So Ron Shelburne, David Teal, and Coach Lynn coming up. We got a lot of valued entertainment here today for you. Some really good folks. Keon Brown got it started splendidly. Professional Door Incorporated, $40 off your residential or commercial garage door preventative maintenance visit. You have to just call them. Tell them you heard us talking about it. 674-0008. Reach out to Travis Williams today. 674-0008 up in Dublin. And you'll never have anybody else. You won't want anybody else. It is, Tebow. It's a really, really strong basketball league. It is. Very strong. And I understand from that perspective, too. They feel like, they're in the Big South, they're winning it. To your point, you're exactly right. If they stay where they are financially, and I have no reason to believe they can't maintain the kind of money that they have, that they're able to invest, they feel like they could win the Big South in men's hoops every year or be in contention. So guess what? That means an NCAA appearance. So your argument's very valid, man. I'm with you. But maybe they feel like if they did that in a bigger league, higher revenue, I don't know. The aspirations seem to be there from them. Have they outgrown their footprint in the Big South? I don't know. Campbell thought they had because of their football program, and now everyone that I talked to down there regrets it tremendously. The administration regrets it tremendously, although they have a new AD. They fired a lot of people that made these decisions. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener. I'm not saying that would be the case if High Point ever left, but there were a lot of assumptions made with Campbell football. It's weird. It's weird the way they thought football was going to be their big ticket, and it hasn't. It's fallen back tremendously. Interest has waned, and now they're finding themselves trying to find money for all these travel sites they have to go to now in all their sports. It's like there was no forethought whatsoever, much like, Cal and Stanford coming to the ACC. And not only what that meant for them to travel to play, but what that meant for ACC teams to have to go there to play. No thought process. It is, Morris. The A-10 is a terrific, terrific basketball league. It is very good, very strong. Tebow says, Ron and I were talking about playing against George Lynch, Percy Covington. Yeah, Ron's always got a good take on all these things. Yeah, our question of the week. Yep. Talked about that earlier. The Browns, Lions, Texans, or Jaguars? Let's see. Yeah, we got a couple votes in. Texans seem to be in the lead now with 12 votes. Is that 1, 2, 3? Wayne, I counted yours. Yeah, they've got 12. They had 8 coming in, so they've got 12. The team next on the list is actually the Lions with 6. The Browns have 4, and nobody 1. We got 1 Jacksonville. Yeah, still just 1 Jacksonville. It feels like the Texans have a stranglehold on this question this week. Brought to you by the attorney Ryan Pry down in Radford. Trust and estate planning. I think it's a good call about the Texans. They haven't been around as long. I think the problem with younger generations, they don't realize how great the Browns organization was in the old NFL or in the old AAFC the All-American Football Conference, when they had guys like Marion Motley. Marion Motley was a Hall of Fame running back who wore number 76. The Browns were the quintessential old NFL franchise. And the Lions had an amazing amount of success. But they haven't won in the Super Bowl era. Haven't even been in the Super Bowl. It's crazy to me that hasn't happened for those two teams. Yeah, George Mason, and they've been really good the last few years. That's right. They are good. They attract a lot of talent being up there in D.C. They're kind of a national point. Yeah, they're good. Good program. I wish we played them. We don't play them. Radford, I mean, I don't know why. We used to. Why? Tech was in the A-10 during Bill Foster years. I was fortunate to be an honorary coach then who played at Bonaventure. Yeah, Bonaventure is an interesting gym too, because I was doing Tech women's basketball at that time, and we would travel up to Bonaventure in New York. Yeah. It was a good league, wasn't it? The A-10 was a good league then. For Tech, it was a really good league. Yeah. Allegheny. Yeah. Olean, that's right. I was trying to think of the name of the town. Olean, New York. Yeah, the Georgetown thing, John Thompson, such a great coach. So glad I got to interview him a couple of times. Man, I tell you what, his son was terrible. And that program has not – we have to talk about that. We will bring that up with Ron here in just a little bit. Have to ask Keon too. That's a great Keon question next week. Should have asked him that today. I wasn't in that mindset though today. We'll have to ask him about that. See what he says. Call the NRA Super Bowl 5403-8255-25. Reserve your lane today. And again, thanks so much to Terry and everybody. I know Randy Thompson, who was there, went there yesterday, and they were talking about how much fun they had, and they made a good amount of money and had a great time. James Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 5403-818011. And the Super Bowl, by the way, I believe I have some new stuff going on here. Fall leagues begin August the 18th. Men, women, and mixed leagues, you can sign up at the Super Bowl. They also have a youth bowling league, ages 5 to 18, all sorts of leagues, 12 per person per week. So $12 a week. And that starts September the 12th at 9:30. 3-2-55-25. So leagues are forming for the fall at the Super Bowl. Olean is remote. It is remote. Yeah, the St. Joe's Hawk. He's got to flap his wings the entire game or he's fired. Yep. Never stops. And that's at every sporting event. Sundown Electric in Elliston, one of the best reputations of any business. Attention to detail, communication, 5-star reviews. Reach out to Sundown Electric if you have some problems, some things you need done around your place, your property. ReadySetFund.com. Bob Christ. 11@gmail.com. Read up on the Ready Set Fund. It's really cool. A series of text messages. You can call Floyd County Softball, and they can tell you all about it too. How easy it is to utilize their program. Talked about Professional Door, 674-0008, $40 off. Call them today. Don't wait. You're going to get beyond July. You're going to call August 1st, and they're going to go, ooh, sorry. You had a whole month. 674-0008, $40 off. Call them today. Don't wait. You're going to get beyond July. You're going to call August 1st, and they're going to go, ooh, sorry. Sorry. You had a whole month. 674-0008, $40 off. Call them today. Don't wait. You're going to get beyond July. You're going to call August 1st, and they're going to go, ooh, sorry. Professional Door Incorporated. Go see them right across from NRCC, 40 years in business. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of yours truly. Been with them for 35 years. They are the best. Thanks to Larry Ramsey and Company. I highly recommend refinancing through them if you haven't already. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Charles Lee started that business, and he's made it into an amazing, amazing success. As is Pulaski County Sports Entertainment under the leadership of Jonathan Sweet, Tim Miller, and the Sportsplex and the things that they're bringing, the jet skiing, all this is coming up, the racetrack, Calfee Park, and they're now winning national awards because they're so good at what they do. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hunley, 155 Walters Drive. Go watch the video on the channel about all the technology. Family Fencing is the sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. They were our very first sponsorship here on the program. Yep. They sure were. And Top Shelf Apparel, Brandon, up in Pulaski. What's up, Chillax? I always forget about Scrappy Coco. Hope you're doing well. The Hokie bird standing behind the hawk flapping his wings. Yeah. But the thing about it, the mascots know. Yeah, that was funny. I remember they used to do that but he'll never interrupt him because that's part of their shtick, and the mascots have a code. You too, Chillax. Hope you have a great day. Yeah, that's not easy, man. They have to try out for that and make sure they have the stamina to do that. It's not easy. It is not easy. But the A-10 was a fun league. It was. That was the era of, when I would call in games, you go to Dayton, St. Joe's, all these places you would go, Bonaventure. Mascots do. They have a code. And most of the mascot fights are choreographed, by the way. Those aren't usually real. It would be fun to think about guys and who are the two most, like the Purdue Boilermaker in a fight with the Stanford tree or something. And they really got mad at each other, and they're sitting there trying to actually fight while they're wearing their mascot costumes. The Nebraska Cornhusker. And those guys are really going at it. The Boilermaker pulls a knife. Wait, whoa, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Mascot fight between the Highlander and Rowdy Red, or Rowdy Red easily. Unless the Highlander mascot, which I've been pounding the table for years, should be a live dude. We have missed an opportunity to tie in what we do with the student body for years now. And I've brought it up to people that could make that decision, and I always get, wow, that's a great idea. And then it just kind of never happens, so I haven't brought it up anymore. But you could get all the fraternities involved. You could make it a campus thing. You could start a promotion. I just have these good ideas. People can utilize them all they want. That's what I do. It's what the hell I do. And you could have a contest, who would fit the Highlander, and have them try out, and they have to look the part. You paint them up, bring them down. I did last night, made V-Nick. Yeah, you like that? The light makes me look a lot more hairless than I am, but trust me, there's hair there. Matter of fact, it was so gray and fuzzy, that's why I cut it last night. Was the Cavalier? No, I don't think so, Timo. I don't think that was choreographed. And wasn't there another one that was famous that just happened? Somebody fell Yeah, no, I think those are real. Anyone ever been to Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah, Georgia? I have not. One of the most peaceful places on earth. Filming location. See, Tebow knows all this cool stuff. T-Bird brings to the table so much cool stuff. No, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Filming location. Thanks, T-Bird. Let's ask our next guest that question. Joining us right now, there he is. He is the Radford Hall of Famer. 42 was the number. And I'm telling you, this guy was in Chicago, Illinois on Saturday morning, and yet we look up on Saturday evening in Christiansburg at the Super Bowl, and here he comes, big Ron Shelber. Still moving like you did when you were just dominating the game.
There you go. Hey, I know where I need to be. Chicago's got nothing for me. It was the NRB Super Bowl with Rick Watson and his peeps.
Well, first of all, if there were a fight between the new Highlander mascot, the one that wears the foam, and Rowdy Red, who's winning?
Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what, I have been kind of too outspoken on Rowdy Red over the years, and I have realized that there are a lot of people who really like that mascot, which, I made the statement one time in a meeting at RU. Somebody brought up Rowdy Red, and I said, wait a minute, I thought when we did away with that mascot, we were never going to speak of it again. And I would hope the new one would. I would hope. But anyway, I don't know. Hey, I'm just going to rant right here, Rick. I mean,
rant away.
Highlander, that potentially that could be the best mascot in America. It has everything.
It has everything. Yes.
Everything you could want. So
why is it not a live person? This has been my idea for a long time now, like a decade.
And I never thought about that, but you're exactly right. They would have dudes lining up
100%. Like the West Virginia musket guy, is that a guy in a suit? No, that's a dude wearing a Mountaineer outfit, right?
That's it. I mean, oh my gosh, that is a great idea. And I tell you, game day promotion, I mean, that's one way to kick this season off. To get the fraternities, sororities back down to the Dedman Center in force.
Like they should contest, 100%.
Student body. Oh my gosh, yes. That would be great. I like it. And you know what? I tell you what, all right, just to help kick it off, I'll do it this one time. I will be the inaugural Highlander. I might need to start walking to the mailbox back and forth a couple of times a week, but I'll do it. Okay. I know that's what you were going to ask, but I will do that. Okay.
I think that'd be great. I'd love to see you as the Highlander. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. The tallest Highlander ever.
There we go.
Hey, Tebow said at the pass you were talking about some of those AAU days and some of the great players and so forth back in the day on Saturday. Some of those guys,
AAU.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't, so in the 80s, I had one experience with AAU. Okay. That was pretty much it. And I don't know, this might sound bad. This might be more upsetting to some people than, my thoughts on Rowdy Red. God bless him or her, wherever they are right now. But I didn't deal with the AAU stuff, and I was glad in hindsight because, look, I mean, players are made in the off season. I get it, and I worked every single day on it. But traveling to a new city every single weekend, playing 6 or 8 games every single weekend, trying to get the regular high school season out of the way so we could start AAU, that just never really appealed to me. But I had one experience with AAU. So out of the blue on a Saturday morning in Snowville, Virginia, after my sophomore season, it was like, I don't know, it was early March. Showing up at my house is Big Cecil Phillips from Radford, Virginia, with little Cecil Phillips, his son from Radford, Virginia. And of course, everybody knows Cecil Phillips, great great Radford High School football player. Had a great career at Ferrum, head coach up at Amherst, down in Georgia, doing big things right now as a defensive coordinator at some of those massive high school programs. And Big Cecil and my dad were first cousins. So Cecil was from up in Snowville. He was up visiting with his family, and they come in and they say, hey, we're going to have an AAU team in Radford, and we want you and that other big guy from Pulaski, Nick McCrary, if you recall that name.
Yes, I do.
He said, we want you and Nick to be on the team. So I said, all right. So it was 8 Radford High School guys, me and Nick McCrary. And that was the first time I'd met Robert Lindbergh. Robert Lindbergh was on that team. A lot of great players. Scott Hall, Chris McCormick, rest in peace to old Chris. There were several of us on that team. Keith Marshall and Chip Craig was the coach.
Yeah, I know Chip.
Very, very prominent figure in Radford, Western Virginia.
Yes.
He was the coach. Big Al Hall was assistant coach / PR / event coordinator / we were happy he was around.
Miss Big Al.
Yeah. And basically, so we go down, the day was at Cave Spring High School, and basically it was a 3-game deal that we had. We won 1 of 3, had the last one won, but had somebody get a technical foul. It wasn't me. Was not me. And Cecil was on that team as well. It was a lot of fun. And that was the extent of my AAU days back in the days. But it was memorable. Here we are, how many years? It was 1985. Here we are talking about it. And but it was fun. It was fun. I got to know some guys that they were lifelong friends from Radford, and because that was basically my AAU experience. It wasn't as prominent as it obviously became. And a couple of years later, after my senior year, I had some people who reached out. It was a team in Roanoke. Joe Davis, I committed to Radford. He was like, yeah, that'd be a great idea. Why don't you do that? I don't know. I think the first tournament was prom or something. So I had a conflict, coach. Sorry. So, but I was working hard. I guarantee it.
Dennis sent a text in. Hey, ask Ron, did he ever miss a 15-foot jump shot?
Oh,
I don't think you did. I never saw you miss one.
Hey, I love playing with my back to the basket, but I love that high post area.
Yes, you did.
They couldn't pigeonhole you down low. You step out, and that 15 to 17 foot jumper. Okay, and I think my in live game action, my 15 to 17 foot jumper, I think I had a higher shooting percentage there than I did actual free throws.
Did you really?
Was guarding me. There was one game I come out of the game and I think I had missed two free throws. You hate it, but you kind of remember those as a player when you miss both ends.
Yeah.
Of a 2-shot free throw. And you're like, what happened there? That's just like, a stain. And the coach was like, what the heck, man? You just nailed like 2 or 3 straight jumpers, and then we slow it down and give you the ball and you miss. What's the deal?
I remember you had such a quick release on it too. Like you didn't sit there and have to make sure you were catch and go, man, weren't you? You were ready to go. You were ready.
Oh yeah. That high post, you don't see it as much in the college game as much, but there's so much happens around that high post, especially if you're playing against zone defenses. if you've got somebody that can come flash to the high post, boom, you can do, what do they say? Boom, square up to the basket. You can do all kinds of things. You can shoot it, you can pass it, dump down to another one of your big players, somebody cutting back door. You can kick it out to either wing. You can just break down a zone defense right there. And you don't see it much in the men's games anymore, that high post area, that high post position.
So Tebow just setting us up. You ready for this?
Oh, man, I don't know.
I don't know if you and I have ever discussed this. He goes, I don't know if anybody remembers a guy named Mike Porter, but that dude was nasty.
I remember him.
Do you and I ever talk about that? Your former teammate? Yeah, that guy.
Oh, yeah. So when Mike was there, it didn't matter if I was high post, low post. It was just get the heck out of the way and let Mike have it.
If anyone has not seen it, go to go to David Mabry and that whole site and just type in Mike Porter highlights, and you'll see that there's not 1 ounce of exaggeration. He's the greatest talent to ever come out of this area, bar none.
He is. Yes.
End of story. End of story.
It is.
Right?
It is. Yes. 100%, Rick. And you've seen them. You've seen them all. And we are very fortunate. There's great high school basketball, but I go back to that 1985 year, Mike's senior year. Again, you had the former Roanoke Valley District and the RVD. I told Travis Wells when he was still with Channel 7, I said, man, you all should do some like local 30 for 30 type.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
And, think about that, the whole, Roanoke, New River Valley, the stories you could come up with. And I always said the Roanoke Valley District, which again doesn't exist anymore. They could go. That could be a whole season. And when you think about it, we had Mike Porter. Everybody competed. Every team showed up. Every team had talent.
Georgia
but
Lynch.
Back in those days, you had Mike, you had King Richard out of Salem. Think about in the same league, the same district, you had those two talents. And just across the Roanoke Valley District, William Fleming, they put out players every single year. Honestly, some of the Fleming players, they could have probably stepped into another RVD school and had that kind of career that Richard or Mike may have. But Mike was head and shoulders above them all. But not only that, then up the road you had Kevin Madden, from Robert E. Lee Stanton. Walker Lambiot up in who he was on up in the valley. What is Woodstock? He ended up going to NC State under Valvano, transferred out to Northwestern. But Lambiot was a Radford mainstay because kind of coming back to the AAU stuff. AAU wasn't as big back then, but what was big were the summer camps, and back then the biggest of them all was 5-star.
Right.
And
right.
Gentleman, very charismatic, unique personality, Howard Garfinkel. 5-star was his baby. That was him. And Radford University was the site of a lot of his 5-star basketball camps. And he would have these counselors, he would have these college players come in. And Walker Lambiot was in Radford all the time, working those camps. And, those were invitation only, I guess. And, they would have kids from California in here playing in those summer camps. I don't know if 5-star is even a thing anymore. I think AAU has wiped all of that stuff out. So.
Yeah, I think you're right. It has. It has. It's another circuit feeder. So you're right. You're exactly right.
Oh, yeah. But those were great days.
Yeah, they were. Hey, I want to ask you about High Point. We were talking about this earlier with Keon a little bit. There's constant rumors about them having higher aspirations. They're going for their third straight title this year. They never won the title until 2 years ago. Now they've won it, and they've spent over $7 million on their roster. They don't hide that fact, nor should they. They're a private school. They can do what they want. It's capitalism. They can do whatever they need to do, right? They're doing it. They have aspirations to leave, and there's a lot of scuttlebutt about the Atlantic 10. I know for a fact. Heck, I talked to the president about it last year at the Big South Tournament. I know they're trying to get into that league. So what do you think? Since Tebow made a point, you have them they're going to be the going on favorite in the Big South for as long as they remain going forward, because they found this money trail that's going to continue to flow. Why would that school want to go to the A10? I think, we kind of know why, but why do you think it would be attractive for them to leave? And then what happens to the Big South if they do?
Well, sounds like High Point's trying to go all SEC on us and just break away.
Well, they've thought that for a while now, last couple of years in particular. Yes.
Yeah. Well, as soon as you said it, High Point was had higher aspirations. First thing I thought was SEC, and then I thought, oh, you mean like Coastal Carolina? Oh, yeah. You mean
Correct.
like UNC Greensboro?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Campbell.
Here's a little known fact. Davidson. A10 member. All right. Davidson came into the Big South my senior year, 1990-91.
That's right.
Okay. Radford played Davidson in their first ever Big South game on their campus. And I really do believe Davidson came into the Big South. And that was the year that the Big South didn't get. It was the closest thing to an automatic bid that we had up to that point. The Big South and another conference split an automatic bid.
Yep.
And I remember Ron Bradley, before that game, hyping us up. He had a copy of the Davidson press guide showing everybody through here. Look at these comments that these players are making in the player profile on the press guide. Moving down to the Big South gives us the ability to go straight to the NCAA tournament. Boom. It was just comment after comment like that. He was offended by it. That year, Davidson was at best about the fourth best team. I mean, they got it handed to them. They were a solid team, but they got it handed to them every single night. We beat them twice. Coastal was, beyond talented that year. They were at best a fourth best team. I don't know how much longer they stayed in the Big South. They may have been a one and done, and they got back to the Southern Conference real quick. I don't know. But, Davidson's probably the best one for them to model going to the A10. They have the money. You said it's capitalism. I don't know that there's any school in America that does capitalism any better than High Point. You said their president. I would actually like to meet that guy. He is a very dynamic individual.
We've had some really good conversations. We really have. He and I.
I can imagine. I've seen quotes of his out in different motivational material and so forth. The guy apparently comes here to America with $50 in his pocket, lives the American dream, and bought out High Point. No, I'm being facetious there. No, but obviously he's giving back in a very big way.
He is.
High Point University, they used to advertise on Fox Business Channel every morning.
That's right.
Every morning. This school, talking about the skills and everything. So clearly he has big aspirations. For them, it'd be a good fit. Atlantic 10, of course, I know they go down to Davidson, so they have that Charlotte market. I guess this would kind of help them with the Greensboro market, so to speak. The A10, not that they need further reach, but it's, they're establishing themselves. I look at Coastal, of course, Coastal was probably, I guess they were one of the founding members of the Big South. And their aspirations probably hinged on football and baseball more than basketball.
It was, it was.
Yeah.
Which High Point isn't like that. High Point's not thinking this from a football perspective. They've already said we're never going football. So this is all about men's basketball, and It is.
I'd hate to see them go, but again, I look back over the decades now. Instead of over the last few years, over the decades, the teams that have come and win out of the Big South. Even up in Maryland, UMBC was in the Big South for a spell. Towson State was in the Big South. Again, we talk about UNC Greensboro. They came into the Big South for a while. So there have been so many schools to come in and out. VMI, Liberty. I hate to say it, there is a blueprint there for schools entering the Big South and exiting the bigger conferences. There's a blueprint, and so they can, whether they follow that or whatnot. But I hate to hear that.
Hey, before we let you go, Rodney asking, hey Ron, did you play against Norfolk High School in West Virginia? And they play against a guy named Russell Todd, who went to West Virginia. Norfolk High School in West Virginia. Did you ever play against Russell Todd?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. Yeah, not sure. Our West Virginia experiences were limited. And honestly, after dealing with these guys, we didn't want any more to tangle with anybody up there. But Bluefield High School, Beaver High School, those were some matchups. You thought you got a break by not playing in the RVD, but those were some always heated rivalries between Pulaski County and Bluefield High School. The football matchup was epic, and I think all of their football players, and there was one guy that anybody from Pulaski who's listening to this, who was around back in the 80s, they will remember this name, Cortez Martin. All right,
Cortez Martin, yep.
Cortez was a terror. He was a beast. He was like 6'2". 230. I always heard he had full ride to Clemson back in the 80s under Danny Ford. I don't know what happened. He didn't make it, but he was he was a killer on the football field. My friends that were playing back then, it was like that week, man, those guys were jacked up to go after Cortez because they knew it was going to be a battle. Cortez would be, talking smack to the Pulaski coaches during the game. And then unfortunately for me, he plays basketball. Could dunk with the best of them, just brutal. And so those, as far as West Virginia, that was the extent of it. But when you were finished with Bluefield, you didn't want any more, really.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's it.
Well, brother, listen, thanks for jumping on today, man. It's been a while. I wanted to get caught up with you. I know people enjoy hearing from you, and it was great to see. Thanks for coming out to the Bash, man. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Hey, it was awesome. Got a big day at work right now and just jacked up for the 8 p.m. Game tonight. I know you are as well.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, next time we got to get into your all of a sudden you're just dedicated WNBA fan base. Yeah, fanship.
I tell you what, look, it's like I've told my friends, you certainly among them, if you can get past the eye gouging and throat punching,
yeah,
that is some pure basketball, man. I am telling you, if you can just ignore the I don't want to say WWE antics. Because this is real, the eye gouging and throat punching. If you can get past that, that is some great basketball. And I guess we'll leave it at
that. To be continued next time we talk to you.
That's it.
All right, brother. Great stuff, man.
All right. Always good seeing you. Great event, man. Saturday night. You gotta do it again.
We will. And you made it better by showing up, so I appreciate it.
It was a great group to be a part of.
Yeah, it was great. All right, man. Have a great work day.
Stay
safe. All right.
Go Highlanders.
That's the Hall of Famer, Ron Shelburne, joining us on the program. Yeah, he showed up at the Bash. It was great. He made that effort to come all the way down to the Bash after being in Chicago that morning. So we appreciate that. Did I watch Thomas and Friends? I did with my kids. I sure did. David Teal, Donnie Lind. Told you we were loaded today. Great to hear from Keon and to Ron Shelburne. Couple of Radford big men. Ron, you can't talk about it when Ron's on here, but Ron was so good. I mean, the people remember how good Ron Shelburne was at basketball. I do. I saw, what was his name? Played for the Seattle Supersonics. Chambers. What was his name? He won the MVP one year in the All-Star game. So was it Scott Chambers? What was his name? Chambers. Anyway, Tom Chambers. Thank you, Attorney Ryan Pry. By the way, the Houston Texans are winning your question of the week. 14 votes now for the Super Bowl. Ron had a similar game. I remember that the jump shot. I remember when I'd watch Tom Chambers play, I'd think that looks a lot like Shelburne. The way he handled the ball, he just kind of always was in the right spot. Had a great instinct for the game. People forget about Tom Chambers, and he was really good for a period there. He was one of the best players in the NBA. Oh, did he win the dunk competition? Wow, I didn't realize that. I know he got All-Star MVP during that time. Was he number 24? Anyway, I'm trying to think of guys that played like Ron. It reminded me of Ron. I remember he always came to mind. Tom Chambers. So anyway, Ron was really good. And if you didn't get a chance to see him play in Pulaski County and Radford, well, you missed out. You missed out. At that time, we produced Mike Porter and Ron Shelburne back-to-back years into college. Wow. That's pretty good. Ron says, ask Mark Jackson how good Chambers was. Yeah. But yeah, he had that sweet, sweet jumper and just methodical way they played. Made it look easy. Oh, he didn't win, but he was famous for dunking. Okay. That's okay. It's all right. Great player, man. Tom Chambers. It seems like, did he have injuries? It seems like his career kind of fizzled quickly. That was the whole era of the NBA I love so much. That's what people have to understand. I don't like how I've evolved to feel about that league. I don't like the way the league is kind of deteriorated. I loved the NBA, man. I mean, I was growing up, loved it. The Magic Bird era, it was just some of the best. You couldn't wait to watch those games, man. In the 80s and the 90s, it segued into the 2000s even with Shaq. The NBA for me used to be just, I loved that league. And I don't like feeling the way I do about it now. You know. Donnie Lynn joins us, the head coach at Mount St. Mary's. Great stuff from the Hall of Famer, Ron Shelburne. And it's great to have another Hall of Famer back with us, David Teal joining us. And my goodness, he's been gone too long from the show, but he's been very busy. What's up, David? How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Rick.
Oh, let's get caught. Can we get caught up on your West Coast trip? I've been dying to talk to you about it, man. How was it out? Well, not West Coast, but out West trip, I should say.
Yeah, there's not much coastline in South Dakota and Montana and Wyoming. No, it was great. All of it. The Badlands, Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower, just national parks, Teddy Roosevelt Park, and just fabulous scenery, great hiking, little trail ride on horseback, little canoeing, on a lake. It was fabulous.
What's it like? I've never been. When you get to Mount Rushmore and you see the carvings, that's got to just be an overwhelming feeling just to see it right there in front of you like that. TV doesn't do it justice, I know.
No, it's an overused word, Rick, in sports, but when it comes to Mount Rushmore, the term applies. It's awesome. It is awe-inspiring. And you're just looking up, and it's wild. And and shout out to my wife Jill. The night before, we stayed at a glamping area that was literally within view of Mount Rushmore. So we saw it light up at night from the balcony of the glamping lodge. And it was quite a spectacle. And that was the night before we were going up to see it in daylight. So to see it first, under darkness and just lit up, and then to see it up close the next day. And then there's walking trails around Mount Rushmore where you can literally look straight up.
See, yeah.
And that's pretty wild.
Very cool. I got to get out there. Sometime. I do. I got to get out there. I want to see it so bad. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm so glad you had a great trip. And then you get back and you're down in dealing with the ACC football folks, huh?
Yeah, Charlotte not quite as scenic as the Badlands.
Well, what were some of your impressions? What's some things that stood out, I guess, from a tech perspective? We're not surprised. James Franklin, very media savvy, seemed to be navigating through the room pretty well, didn't he?
Rick, James Franklin had the largest media audience of his Virginia Tech tenure. And as you might expect of someone with his resume, he was very adept at using that audience. And he said nothing really that we here in Virginia had not heard in snippets, but he recognized his audience was new, and therefore he basically played the greatest hits. And I think his new line was, we won the offseason, and now we have to prove it during the season, which I think is a very valid take. They have won the offseason. Were they the winner of the offseason? Yeah, we can debate that.
Sure.
But in terms of retention, player acquisition, financing, the enthusiasm around the program, new athletic director in Brian White, the staff that he's assembling, all of it is on an upward trajectory right now. And the next step is to produce on the football field.
Right. Which he knows more than anybody there in that room, right? It's time now to go out and get it done. And we'll find out in a couple of weeks when this team starts to come together. So I already had a couple people have questions, a couple UVA fans, because they saw you were coming on. Please ask David what's going on with our program. We don't hear a whole lot, which that's what happened last year, right? They just kind of do their thing, and then there's Tony Elliott showing up with the best season in the history of UVA football. What kind of things did you gather at all from Cavaliers' perspective?
Well, what I wrote from Charlotte about UVA, Rick, is the return of Cam Robinson at linebacker. Yeah. I think he's the best defensive player in the ACC, and he was last season until he tore his ACL against Duke. And UVA fans will remember he missed the first 3 games because of a broken collarbone.
Right.
So I posed the question to Tony Elliott. The Virginia comm staff was kind enough to pull Tony aside for a moment. And I asked him, you guys were number 22 in the country and number 2 in the ACC last year in scoring defense. How much better would you have been with a healthy Cam Robinson? And his eyes, kind of lit up. He's going, yeah, that's crazy to think about, isn't it? And, if you're a Virginia fan, you think back to the game, to 2 of the 3 games that Virginia lost, that Cam Robinson missed. and that would be the NC State game in Raleigh, and where the Wolfpack averaged, I think, like 7 yards a play, which is by far the most against the Cavaliers last season.
Right.
And then the ACC championship game. And that goes to overtime. Both those games decided essentially on the last play of the game on Chandler Morris interceptions. If Cam Robinson plays in those two games, I'm not sure Virginia doesn't win both of those. And that's just how big a difference maker he is. Now, Virginia lost plenty of defensive talent, and they lost plenty of talent at running back in Jamari Taylor and wideout and Terrell Harris. I mean, they've got some holes to fill. And Chandler Morris is gone. But I think most people believe Bo Prabula will be more than a serviceable replacement. And they got the most experienced offensive line in the country and a manageable schedule. I think another season with at least 8-9 wins is in the cards.
It feels like it, and they've been raving about Prabula coming in. I mean, he was a good player a year ago. I mean, they've done a great job, but they did this last year. You know, they go out and Tony Elliott has proven, you and I've talked about it, they have a great evaluator in the portal. Clearly, he had a lot of home runs last year, didn't he? And I don't have any reason to believe he's not going to do it again, even though we may not know about some of these guys right now. Anyway.
Well, the key, Rick, and your point is spot on, that not only Elliott, but his entire staff. And general manager. Now, Tyler Jones has left the staff to go become deputy AD at Stanford and work with Andrew Luck and that crew out west. But the Virginia evaluators and personnel folks have been excellent. Where Elliott and his assistants truly excelled was in taking that collection of talent and forging it into a functioning team that believed in one another and was willing to sacrifice for one another. We've seen plenty of touted transfer classes fail miserably. Look no farther than Tallahassee, Florida. So Elliott's challenge this season is to again take a crop of transfers that's clearly talented and see if they can become a team again.
Well, along those lines, I've got to ask you, we've talked a lot about it. Every time I watched any clip from Dabo Swinney and Clemson, it felt like all we talked about was the past. It was a weird vibe. It got a lot of play on X from a lot of different people, his clips going around. Did you get a chance to visit with him at all while you were down there?
Not while in Charlotte, Rick, but the day before the ACC kickoff started, I was in Clemson, and they had a media day.
Oh, okay.
And I was there primarily to talk to Taj Boyd, who's a 7.57 guy who's now the Tigers quarterbacks coach and was an All-American quarterback there at Clemson. But Dabo held court with us for 58 minutes.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yes.
Wow.
And he can't help himself. There is always going to be a portion of these preseason or state of the program appearances where he recites his resume. And I get it. I mean, the guy's one of only two active coaches with multiple national championships, he and Kirby Smart. But he hasn't won one since 2018. That's a long time ago. That's pre-NIL.
It is.
That's pre-portal. Dabo has not pivoted well to the new era, which, to his credit, there are moments that he concedes. He said, look, last year we stunk. I stunk. And he's right. 7-6 for many programs isn't terrible. But Rick, they had 9 guys drafted.
Right.
How do you have 9 NFL draft picks and go 7-6?
7-6. I know.
How do you lose at home to Syracuse when that is Syracuse's only conference victory? Talk about a team that stunk last year, That was Syracuse.
Right, right.
And you couldn't beat them in your own building.
Do you think he's finally seeing the light with the portal? It's been begrudgingly he's trotted forward through all this. Well, I guess we'll find out pretty quickly, won't we, this year?
He has, I believe, Rick, the correct number is 11 transfers that they brought in. And they're going to need them. They love their wideouts, led by Bryant Wesco, and I get that. I mean, the big question, I mentioned Taj Boyd coaching the quarterbacks. Now, Chad Morris is back as offensive coordinator.
Yes, that's big. Yeah,
we are running that back, and Chad was Taj Boyd's OC, and famously was part of the group that rocketed that program to prominence. But he's been out for a while. He spent last season hovering around UVA watching Chandler play, his son. So can they resurrect that offense with very unproven quarterbacks? They've got Christopher Vizina, who is homegrown, who is now, I believe, in his third year in the program, and they have a true freshman in Tate Reynolds. Dabo resisted going into the portal for an established quarterback. Time will tell whether that was the proper decision.
Well, and finally, because it's the most queued up question I've gotten from listeners since you coming back this week, did you understand the explanation about the tiebreaker in the league? Because
I think I get it.
Okay, good. What we got?
And I wrote about it. And if I confuse people further, I apologize, though I do understand. Because the whole unbalance that, with 5 teams playing 8 and 12 teams playing 9, it is a quagmire. And look, ACC officials get it. They know it. And it's going to be remedied in the future where only one team will play the 8 and everybody else will play the 9. But yes, an 8-1 team will be considered tied with a 7-1 team. Just as an 8-1 team, just as a say 8-0 team would be considered tied with an 8-1 team. You're not penalized for playing an additional conference game or playing one fewer. And those ties can, absent head-to-head results, be resolved by the Sports Source Analytics team success ranking.
Okay, well that did simplify it, though. That was good. That's good.
No, I'm sure I'm sure everybody else is going, what in the hell is he talking about?
Hearing it though is better than just reading. No, that helped.
Oh, the first time I read it, I thought my eyes were going to bleed.
Yeah, I still didn't. Yeah, we'll just all ask David on Wednesday. That's what it came down to when he's here. It's Christian. David, you said you wouldn't be surprised at all if Virginia won 8 or 9 games, right, this year?
No, I wouldn't be surprised. Rick, in my preseason poll, full transparency, I picked Virginia 5th. I have Miami 1, SMU 2, Louisville 3.
Yeah.
I'm higher on Georgia Tech than most. I picked the Jackets 4th. I'm fascinated by Alberto Mendoza, the brother of the Heisman Trophy winner and transfer from Indiana quarterback. And Georgia Tech had a home run with Justice Haynes, the Michigan transfer running back, to pair with Malachi Hosley, who Virginia Tech fans will remember from last season is quite talented. I think that offense is going to rock despite the departure of OC Buster Faulkner to Florida. The question will be for Georgia Tech on defense. But then I have Virginia 5th, and I've got the Hokies 7th.
Okay, that was going to be the next. People are starting to already fly in. Where's Tech? And that would be, you know what? That would be a heck of an improvement, wouldn't it? 7th? If they move up to that, that's probably 7-8 wins, maybe potentially. Hey.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I absolutely. Rick, remember this. James Franklin has been a head coach for 14 and a half seasons. He has never coached a bowl ineligible team. I don't think that's going to change.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And the question I have for you mentioned Miami number one. Are we getting to the point, do you think, I know it was a one-off and they had a great run, is Miami finally getting entrenched again into more of a national landscape under Mario? You think it's time now with Crystal Ball? You think that's where we are with them? Or is it just you got to wait and see again because that was just a one-year thing where they really went off toward the end of the year?
I don't foresee a season in which Miami does not make the playoff.
Okay.
With that talent, absent bad injury luck, bad karma, something. They went and got Darian Mensah. Don't get Duke and Manny Diaz riled up about that. But not only Mensah, but Cooper Barkate, his best receiver at Duke. They've already got Malachi Toney there at wideout. They've got Mark Fletcher at running back. They got arguably the best defensive end out of the portal, and Damon Wilson from Missouri. They are loaded.
Yep.
Clearly, the ACC will announce the result of the preseason poll next week.
Okay,
Miami
good.
is going to be the landslide choice as the first place team.
Well, great stuff. I know you answered a lot for a lot of folks today, and it's great to see you again, man. I wanted to give you time. I knew you were out west, and then you had to get back, and then you had to go right to work again. So I was like, I'm just going to let it. I didn't want to bother you, so I'm glad we got you today. It was good to have you back, man. It was good. I'm glad you had such a great trip, man. All right, brother. Have a great rest of the week, man, and congrats again on the trip. That just sounds like awesome. I got to get out there.
Thanks. Yeah, you do, man. I recommend it to anybody.
All right, man. Stay safe, brother. We'll talk.
Yep, you too.
All right. Thanks, David. David Teal, the great David Teal, the Hall of Famer, joining us on the program. So there you go. Poll comes out next week from all the media folk and everybody who voted. So there you go. There answers the question about Miami, which I brought this up last week. I wasn't trying to be somebody who's just saying, hey, Miami, they did it 1 year and they're back, It was more of is it time for them now? And you just heard David Teal give a resounding yes to that question. Christian says, I think Miami's going to have about a 4-year run of making the playoffs. They're too deep loaded. And that's the thing. They lost some talent, but, you look in Phil Steele. We're going to ask Phil Steele all about the ACC. You got any questions next Tuesday? Make sure you get them to Phil Steele, who joins us. And thanks to Jimmy McKenna, by the way, he got me the Phil Steele 2026 college football mag. I'm not going to lie now. This thing is ballooned up to $25. But if you're a college football fan and you don't need to buy any of the other ones, this is the one. He's got Miami in a pretty good spot too. So there you go. There you have it. Great stuff, David Teal. Back-to-back Hall of Famers. That's pretty good here on a Wednesday. Joining us now, future Hall of Famer. Head basketball coach at Mount St. Mary's, Nutty.
Maybe at McAdoo's. I might be a Hall of Famer at McAdoo's in Radford.
Energy drink concierge. How you been, my friend? Everything good?
I'm doing great. Man. We got a day and a half left of summer camp. We got a week and a half left with our team, and this summer, it's been great.
Well, let's talk about that because a lot of people ask. This is a time of year, out there watching and hearing Radford practice. What? And I may have asked you this before, but what are some of the goals you're looking to accomplish now? So, new guys coming in. I know you're getting them on the floor. It's got to be an exciting time for you and your staff, right?
It is. We've got a ton of new faces. We've got a bunch of guys that, we believed were good players in recruiting. We brought back, 4 or 5 players that helped us last year, and it's an exciting time. And then you get them on the court and start to see how they work together. And, every year is the same. They all want to, prove something. They come in, whether they were a star player the year before or whether, they're looking for a bigger role. They, come in wanting to prove something. And, there's a high level of competition, but there's also a ton of camaraderie built during this time. And that's one of the most fun times for me because, there's really not a lot of other distractions. It's just us on campus, and we do a lot of team building. We spend a lot of time together working to get this group of half of the guys had never met each other before, and now they've got to be able to function together as a unit. And so that's those are the two big ones, right? Do we have some talent, and let's see kind of where that's at. What can we install, and what can we teach that we know will help down the road. But really, it's let's start to get these guys to know each other and hopefully like each other and hopefully respect and start to build that team that we're trying to build.
Now, you're a marvelous game coach, right, in getting the team ready. But I know you love this getting to know little quirks about personalities and having conversation with these guys, right? That's something I noticed immediately when I met you down at Radford. How much fun has that been for you just to kind of learn some of the different aspects about all the personalities?
Yeah, I mean that's what it is for me. Obviously the games are great, and I'm competitive as anybody, but this time when you can really start to figure out what makes somebody tick, figure out what someone's about, and help them. Like that's my job. As much as my job is to win basketball games, my job is to help these young men grow up and help them become who they were trying to become. And a lot of times that's a player on the court, and I got to put the work in to do that. But you can't do it if they don't trust you. You can't build if the players don't trust you. And you don't build trust instantly. They don't just trust me because I'm the head coach. It takes those conversations, that time, the one-off meal, which is super casual, but it ends up going a long way. Those things are awesome, and that's a huge part of the summer. And I'm doing my best to spend that time with all these guys and starting to get to know them. And it's been a lot of fun so far.
Terry asks, Coach, when you go over things with the guys right now, how much do you hope it gets retained when they get back to campus when school starts?
I mean, I hope it all gets retained.
I was going to say
I'm not dumb enough to think that's a real thing, And so my philosophy on the summer is that the summer, it wasn't that long ago. I know I keep saying that, and I don't feel like I'm getting older, but I'm older than I was. But it wasn't that long ago when I was coaching, and so I haven't been coaching for that long. And we weren't allowed to work with the guys in the summer. Right, we got no time with them. They were allowed to be around campus to lift, and we weren't allowed to be on the floor with them. And guess what? Guys got better. Like players worked and players got better, and you got to the fall and you had time to put in everything you wanted to put in. And so for me in the summer, yeah, we put in some concepts, some offensive concepts and some basic defensive concepts. But for me, the summer is still about the guys getting better. They need to work on their game. They need to improve as players in a little bit of structure, in a little bit of a sandbox of, things that I want to try out that maybe we won't even use in the season. But this is a time that I can get some film on some things and see, do I like that action? Do I like, that way of running in transition? Do I like that, ball screen defense, those sort of things? Because I know that I don't have to reteach it all when I get back in the fall anyway.
Yeah.
And so if there's something I love, great. It'll be a quick reteaching. If there's something I hate, it's no big deal because I'm going to teach it the way I like it better when we get back in the fall.
What do you remind guys when you have this little breakaway, just about taking care of their bodies? Do you feel like you even have to? They kind of know that at that point, but you just try to remind them to be smart, about their dieting and about their activities and things of that nature?
Yeah, Coach Jones would always say when we were at Radford and then at UNCG that, good players don't let themselves get out of shape. If you want to be a good player, you don't allow yourself to get out of shape. And so that's the biggest thing I try to remind them. They're going to work on their game. They're going to shoot. They're going to, dribble the ball. They're going to play some pickup. But most people, me included, don't just love to get out and run, right? Don't just want to get out and, do some cardio for cardio's sake. And so trying to encourage them to do that, trying to encourage them to stay in shape, trying to encourage them to run, because they've now had 6 weeks of getting in shape, and they're finally there the last couple of weeks of the summer. And then to now take 2 or 3 weeks off and not do anything in that realm really sets them back when they get back in the fall. So that's the biggest reminder. I remind them to enjoy the time with their people, whether they're going home to see their family or whether, they're spending time with other loved ones, enjoy that time because, when they get back in the fall, they don't really have much until the season's all the way over. You get a couple of days around Christmas, and I try to get them a long weekend in the fall before we really ramp up.
Yeah.
But other than that, we don't have much time. Our season is long. It goes across, both semesters. And so if we're doing well, we don't get, you don't get a spring break. So, really enjoy and cherish that time that they have with the people that they care about. Because, the real practice and the real preparation kicks off when we get back to campus.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it makes perfect sense, and it's good. Well, I'm glad to hear it's coming together well. That's exciting for you. You say you've got, is it one more week, full week with them?
Yeah, one more full week, and that's it. About 3 weeks at home.
I want to ask you a hypothetical now, because we've been talking a lot about High Point, and I know their desire because I just talked to their president during the Big South tournament. I know what they want to do. They want to leave our league and go to the A-10. So when you look at that situation, and they have the most budget, they're a private school, and do whatever they want. And look, I don't have any resentment toward them because they're doing things within the rules and they're raising money the way they need to. They operate under the rules that they have that the rest of us don't have. That's fine. Would you, as a head coach, that if you're in the Big South right now, you're going to be the favorite every year probably going forward. Does that challenge, would that be something that you would like the program to stay, or can you outgrow one league to the other? You're going to go to the A-10 potentially and kind of be maybe a middle of the pack squad. So my long term, do you think it's better for a team like that to stay in the league that they're dominating, or go ahead and move out? Just if you were the coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what's best for me as the coach, it might not always be what's best for the athletic department and the university as a whole.
Yeah.
As the coach, I would love to be in the best job in my league, right? And have the most resources and have the best access to talent and have, the nicest stuff and all of those things of my peers, because that gives me the best chance to win, right? We all want that as coaches. We all want the best chance to win. Anybody who says they love working at bad jobs because, they love that challenge is just tricking themselves.
Yeah, right.
They're lying to themselves because they've only worked at bad jobs. Then you go work at a good job and you're like, oh man, this is way better. And so, now for High Point University and their president and their athletic director, there is a value, and for any program, there's a value to be in a league where your entire season doesn't come down to 3 games in 3 days, right? Where you can do enough, where you play against peers that, even if High Point scheduled an entire non-conference schedule against Power 5 teams or A-10 teams or whoever you want to say that are, better net rankings than the Big South, by the time they play 18 Big South games or 16, however many they play, their net ranking will drop by an amount that they can't get an at-large bid, unless they go 31-0, and then they lose in the conference final, like Miami, Ohio did last year, right? So, there is a benefit of being in a league where if you schedule well and you do, you are a top 1 or 2 or 3 team in your league, you have a chance to make the NCAA tournament, with regardless of how your conference tournament goes. And so, as a coach, I would love to coach in a league like that, right?
Yeah.
I would love to coach in a league where my entire, did I have success or did I not this year, doesn't come down to how we play, how healthy we are, how, whatever, for those 3 games in 3 days.
Yeah, that's a terrific point, because even with the expansion of the tournament, it's not going to help mid-majors. Sorry.
I mean, 1 or 2, right? Maybe if there's 8 new spots, one of them might go to a mid-major who has 29 wins, and they're not in the Big South.
Correct.
Right? That team is in the A-10, or that team is in the Missouri Valley. That it just is what it is.
That's a great point. Yeah. See, that's why I ask you these questions, because now I've learned something. Now I feel smarter. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You can be maybe third place in the A10, or if you have a great year, if you lose in the Big South title game, you're out. If you're in the hey, look at the A10, look at that conference's ranking, look at what they've done. Yeah, you're going to get that at large. Yeah,
and that's the same hope that the rest of the Big South has, right? When you're at one of these other jobs and you're looking at High Point and you're saying, man, it's not fair, right? They have all these resources that we don't have. Well, yeah, but on any given night, we can get them. And if as long as we have enough that when we play them in wherever your tournament happens to be, is it still in Johnson City? Are they doing that again?
Yeah, it's coming back one more year in Johnson City.
That in Johnson City, we can get them. We have enough, or we have a guy who can win us that game, right? And so, that is the joy of being in a one bid league for when you're not in the best job, right? Is that, hey, we don't have to beat them 3 times a year. We got to beat them once when it matters.
Yeah,
and, and that's what everyone loves about college basketball. And that's why college basketball in the tournament and the conference tournaments are so fun and they draw such good ratings and people love them, is because any game on any day, you can lose and you can win. And that is awesome. And that's what's so much fun.
Nick asked, Coach, when you were growing up, did you have a favorite NBA player?
Yeah,
Thanks, Nick.
I did. Thanks,
Here
Nick.
we go.
My favorite NBA player growing up was Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing.
I grew up a Knick fan. My dad is from New York, and so even though I lived in Ohio, I was a Knick fan. And Patrick Ewing was the man. He's the only person that I've been starstruck by, like on the road recruiting when he was the head coach at Georgetown, like because he was my favorite player when I was a kid. And so then you sit next to him in these games, and it's like, oh my goodness, that's Patrick Ewing right there. As a 6'4", undersized 5-man, I embodied a lot of Patrick Ewing's game, a lot of turnaround fadeaways and hook shots into my game, so I loved the Knicks in the '90s and hated the Bulls and hated Jordan and loved Patrick Ewing.
You're a Patrick Ewing guy, yeah. What's going on with Georgetown? Why can't Georgetown find its rhythm again? Right? I know they're up near your area.
Yeah. I had this. I mean, this question I hear often. We have one of the guys on our staff grew up a Georgetown fan.
So what the hell's going on with the Hoyas?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't need a soundbite here that gets clipped up and put on social media. We don't play them this year, thankfully. Usually, most years we play either them or Maryland. We don't have either on the schedule this year. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of their program. It's the Big East is as hard of a league as it gets because no football, right? And all these teams can invest so much money in just basketball. That being said, I don't know why they can't also invest all this money in just basketball. Like, I don't think the problem is a lack of investment. They've struggled for a while now, and that to me points to bigger issues, systemic issues. It's not a coach, it's not a AD, it's not a player. It points to bigger issues in alignment from the top down in a program and a university. When you're a program with that sort of prestige and that sort of cachet, and now you struggle for multiple coaches. And I hope Coach Cooley figures it out. This area is better when Georgetown's good. I got friends on that staff. They have a good, obviously a historic program, and would love to see them kind of get over the hump. Get the players they need in there. Get the right blend of culture and leadership and players to have a great year in a really good league against really good coaches every night. And it's hard. But I don't know all the ins and outs, but would love to believe that they can. They got the right people there to figure it out.
Well, it's college basketball's better when they're good. Just feel Georgetown needs to be good in college basketball. Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, finally, Coach, we'll let you go. Our BDST attorney Ryan Pry fan question of the week. Of the 4 NFL teams that haven't made the Super Bowl, the Browns, Lions, Jags, or Texans, which franchise will be the first one to break through?
Browns,
Lions, Texans, and Jags.
I mean, Do we have an expansion team that'll come in before one of those four? I gotta believe that the Texans have the best chance of those four teams right now, right? Like they have
winning. Yes.
some stability right now. I mean, it's not going to be the Browns or the Lions anytime soon, or the Jags. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'll put my my horse with the Texans.
Okay. All right. There you go. One vote Texans. We'll add that to the list. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I wanted to get an update how your summer was going. Everybody good? Family good?
We're doing great.
Yeah?
Doing great. Yeah, we'll get a little break here once the guys leave. We'll get down to the beach for a few days and hopefully get a reset before we run it back again.
If you ever want to go somewhere cool, you and your wife, even the kids, go to Emerald Isle. It's where I went on the honeymoon, man. It was awesome.
Love it.
Awesome. But anyway, all right. Thanks, my friend. We'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right, Coach. Be good. There you go. Johnny Lynn, head basketball coach, Mount St. Mary's. Great stuff. So you take what he's telling you there about what he's learning about his team, and you can do that at Virginia Tech, Radford, Arizona, Michigan, right? I mean, that's what this time of year is for. So Brandon says Lions. Okay, we'll add that to the list. Lions. And Brandon, we're using your question for next week, so make sure you bring it to the table next week because I've already forgotten exactly how you worded it. But I don't want to say it out loud because I don't want to confuse people. And when I say people, I say I don't want to confuse me. But your question for next week was really good. Wayne's was really good this week. So that's like 15 votes now for the Texans on the attorney Ryan Pry fan question of the week. Thanks to Pulaski County Sports Entertainment. They are the title sponsor of this program, making things happen every day in Pulaski County. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. And I keep trying. Now we're getting against the clock, so now I got to start yelling at you. Professional Door Incorporated. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Call them today. If you have a garage door, you want to get it checked out, and it won't cost you much, $40 off the top. Bring the best in the house. Professional Door Incorporated up in Dublin, 674-0008. Nobody's going to treat your garage door any better than Travis and his group of professionals, okay? But you have to do it in July, and you have to tell them you heard us talking about it, 674-0008. Do it. For the love of God, do it. NRV Super Bowl. Leagues are forming now for the fall. They've got kids' leagues. It's awesome. They've got all sorts of things happening here in the fall, and you don't want to miss out because if you do, you're going to be left out. Bowling leagues for men, women, and mixed leagues starting now, getting formed. Youth bowling leagues is $12 a week. You can go bowl as many times as you want. I mean, come on, get it done. Thanks to the Super Bowl. They were terrific hosting us, by the way. Terrific. Sundown Electric, one of the best businesses around in our region. You don't believe me? Look at the 5-star ratings on their site. You won't find one any less. Clear Communication. The Smith brothers are doing a great job keeping their father's business, taking it to heights unheard of. They're doing so well. Thanks to them for their support. Family Fencing, they were the first sponsor here. Free quote today, 540-200-8294, sponsor of our studio. I sure hope they return. It's kind of a special bond there for them. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hundley over 155 Walters Drive. Go get your back cracked in all the right ways. And next time we go, I'm going to be on film getting it done. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of me. It should be your exclusive banking partner. I'm just telling you. ReadySetFund.com. If you need to raise some money here, school's starting. You may be starting a fall sport. You need some money. ReadySetFund.com. BobChrist11@gmail. It's a terrific way to try to make some money for that sports team quickly and easily. All right. Thank you, Brandon. Wayne says in 3 weeks, we asked, was Rick sandbagging in bowling true or false? No, it wasn't. That was an honest assessment of my lack of bowling skills. I've been idle for a long time. Does Rick join a league at the NRV Super Bowl after his breakout performance at the Bash? Do I join a league? Nobody would want me in their league or on their team. Maybe I could be that guy who hovers around. Like I'm staying on a lane, staying warm, and somebody goes down. They hurt their wrist. Their finger doesn't pop out of the bowling ball like it should, and they they dislocate it. That guy, we got a guy over here. Yeah, I'll do it. Rick the Turkey Watson. Almost had 6 in a row there. I had 5 in a row. And Brandon, you remember what I said on the 6th one? This one's for James Franklin. And I didn't get a strike. Oops. Not going to be a very good year in Blacksburg. I think I knocked down 6 or 7 on that ball. But I did. I looked around at Brandon because I think he had just said, Rick going for 6 in a row. I dedicate this role. This is for you, Coach Franklin. And then I whiffed. Morris made all that happen, though. He did. I'll check that out, Morris, when I get down to work. Morris just sent something funny on Twitter. I just want to say, again, is not a thing to do with me, but what a great show today. On the show today and the things that they're talking about, I mean, you're not getting that anywhere. Sponsors, you're welcome, America. Keon Brown, who's always excellent. Ron Shelburne, always excellent. David Teal, come on. There's not been a better sports writer in the history of the state. Sorry. And then Coach Lynn. Great information, great answers to those questions. I mean, you're getting things that you're going to think about, or at least I know I will. You learn. I learned so much from our guests. Tomorrow, unfortunately, no David Smith. He is traveling with business, so we may not have David this week. He's going to see if Friday works. And I know immediately that's a downer because I'm not going to go through the AFC West without him. He hated it, but he can't be here tomorrow. Wayne says, I kept seeing Janet go to bat when you roll. I think she was knocking down pins for him. My wife? You mean my wife? Still sounds weird. Yeah, she was running in the background. I just thought maybe it was Tebow and Brian Oliver. I don't know whose group it was that went out there first, but I look up, they've rolled a couple of balls, and then I see the dude, the maintenance guy, going to the back of the lane. And I'm thinking, oh God, we've already broke something. What have we done? But apparently I saw him going back there a lot. They had some issues with that one lane on the far left. We had 6 lanes, so. Wow, now you got me thinking, Brandon. Should I try to capitalize on that amazing performance? No. Because then you start to feel the pressure of it. Then you're letting down the team. Then my patented straight ball becomes a liability pretty quickly. And then you have to go have a ball made. And, Brandon, you and I both are having trouble finding the finger slots. Those things, they had, I think we found 1 or 2, and then everybody, I think, was using the same ball because it was the best one. BDST bowling shirts coming with Rick's score on the back. Put the big dog logo, Mr. 186. Brian says we overwhelmed the machine with gutter balls. I don't think so. You guys were taking Tebow was. I mean, every time I looked up, somebody was striking over there. That's not a bad idea. Bowling shirt, And under the logo, just have 186 in quotes, and nobody will know. Make it subtle. Ooh, what's that 186? Huh. I'll tell you what that 186 was. Totally turned around the momentum of mine and Brandon's best of three. It did. After a really, really poor opening performance by me. A lot of fun today. Today's going to be fun. One of the days, it always is, but to go back and watch the short clips of the show with these wonderful guests, which will be up about an hour after the show on our channel. Please subscribe, like, and share. Screenshot of the screen with your score. Well, Brandon was so upset, like he got rid of it too quickly. I don't even know if anybody got a shot of it, Wayne. Brandon was really, really showing bad sportsmanship. Morrison, I did see that Janet was drinking and running interference. That's a good wife. Yeah, by the way, she had a great time meeting everybody, too. She did. She did. Absolutely, she did. I did see your picture of Tom Chambers. Yeah, that's the guy I remember. Great player. Now Nick asked Rick, who was your favorite NBA player? Easy. Moses Malone. Who? Moses Malone. From Petersburg, Virginia. Played for the Houston Rockets. Started out Utah Stars. I think it was Utah Stars. ABA. Moses Malone. Undersized post player, one of the best rebounders in the league. Got his title later with the Sixers, not with the Rockets. That's why I became a Rockets fan, was because of Moses Malone. And look, I'm always going to say Jordan's the greatest of all time, but then my second favorite player was Hakeem Olajuwon. Talking about favorite players opposed to, yeah. Moses Malone. God rest his soul. Little number 24 with the Houston Rockets. Got him to the first NBA title series, championship series against the Celtics in 81. Of course, the Celtics were really good. That guy named Larry Bird was really starting to take hold in that league. That was a good Rockets team, but Celtics were better. Yeah, she is a sweetie. She's a good girl. Janet's a good girl. Coach Elmo loved her. He was talking about it. He called me yesterday. By the way, you're going to love it. And when Coach Elmo, once we get into the season, folks, he's going to break down every Virginia Tech game in a way that you haven't seen it before. He does this on Greg Roberts' show now, and you're going to be in for a treat. You're going to get a preview and know the ins and outs of what to look for, X's and O's from Coach Elmo every week, going into the game and then coming out of the game. So in other words, we'll have him on to preview the game, and then he'll tell us why the game went the way it did. And he takes a lot of time to study it. He records every game. You are going to absolutely love it. So anyway, that's coming your way. Tomorrow, I believe Bitter and Dwight are okay. We'll find out. We'll let you know. Watch for the socials for the preview of the show. He did have an unstoppable turnaround, Moses Malone. He did. Great, great player. Great player. We need a BDST Greg Roberts crossover. I could work that out with Greggy. Greg's a great guy. Known him a long time. Yeah, we do. We need to do something. We need to do something with Greg. He's done a hell of a job out there in Roanoke Radio. Great dude, man. Greg's a really good guy. Anyway, everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Thursday edition. It's raining. Be safe. Take care. Subscribe if you haven't. Like and share. We'll see you.